Well, hello. For those that don't know me, my name is Gemma. It's currently the middle of March and it's time to plant the garlic. But do you want a tour of the garden first? Ooh, and a good old strawberry. Okay, but that's enough showing you of the garden. This video is about how to grow garlic. I grew garlic for the first time last season, so this is going to be my first season doing it sort of by myself. I've got a couple of extra tricks up my sleeve, and hopefully we get some real juicy, really big, good size, beautiful colored garlic. First thing I have to do is actually get rid of and clean out one bed. But first, let's get some gloves. It's huge! Now, ideally, you'd want to be putting a layer of compost, and what I'm learning is you really want to be putting compost, new compost, on your bed at least once a year. Over a year, the nutrients get sucked out and is put into the plants in the harvest. I'm not quite ready with my compost, but I did start with a really full bed last year, a whole lot of manure, and I can still see there's a bit of manure that hasn't broken down yet, so I think there's still going to be enough nutrients for me. Again, I'm learning, so I'm not sure. But two things that I will be sprinkling on this bed. This is blood and bone. That again just gives it some really rich nutrients for the garlic. And the second thing I'll be popping on the bed is some lime. This you can just pick up from your local hardware store, but lime decreases your acidity levels or pH levels in the soil. Ideally, you'd get a reading of your own soil so you're knowing how much lime you need to be putting in, but I'm just going to give it a bit of a sprinkle and that'll keep my garlic happy. It's so pretty! This is all of the garlic, well, plus some others, but that I grew last season with a friend. So this year I'm going to use what I grew and grow some more. Do you want to help me separate the cloves? A good way to calculate how many bulbs you'll grow is each bulb, you roughly say there's 10 in a bulb. So if I grab 10 bulbs, I'll have 100 new bulbs that I'll grow. What you want to do is select the biggest bulb. One. What I've chosen is 110. So that is 11 bulbs that I'll split. When I say strip the garlic, I'm mostly talking about just getting the individual garlic's cloves out. It doesn't need to be completely peeled. because it'll get composted anyway when it's in the ground. So it's mostly just so you can, yeah, get the individual bulbs. Let's see how accurate the whole 10 bulbs in each one is. I've just cracked a random one open. Okay, we got 1. We've got another 2. 12, 13. Let's see the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah. Do you guys prefer the long, oh man, the long videos and sort of, I guess, more detail and I guess more conversation within, or are you guys like, bro, I've got 3 minutes, give me what you got, and otherwise I'm out of here. Because I don't really know what kind of videos to make. But I also understand that everyone is busy and they have limited time. But also, is this something people enjoy because it relaxes them? In which case I'll make them slightly longer videos. I really don't know. You guys, can you put it in the comments below? Do you guys want, you know, 20-minute videos? Well, here we go. Here are all of the bulbs. I'm going to take them inside. It's about time I prepare dinner. So I will do that. And hopefully tomorrow I can get in the garden and plant. But I won't be wearing these white pants, because we all know what happens to white pants in gardens. And if you don't, just don't do it. Don't do it. We are back to plant the garlic. What I'm doing here is just making shallow trenches. So when planting your garlic, they don't sit very far beneath the surface. They're pretty much like on the surface with the tiniest little bit of dirt covering, but I'm just making these small trenches to make it easier for me to plant. So when planting the garlic, you want to make sure you're having the top side up. So if you can see, this side is the top and the bottom is sort of that flat, crusty almost side. And then all you're doing is just putting it down and then lightly covering it, but really not very much. I will be doing that every couple of centimeters aside from each other. Ooh la la, that looks good. Now I'm just very lightly sprinkling it with your mulch. So I'm using some seagrass, but you can use hay or whatever. The reason for the first stage you want to do it lightly is so the plants or seedlings can penetrate the surface. I guess now we just give it a water and we'll just let it do its thing. Watering the garden sometimes means filling up the header tank from the dam before watering the garden. On lazy days I think it's annoying, but on days where I have time, I don't know, it just makes me feel a little bit better. But hey, if you're in a town or suburbia, I'm not saying to go get tanks and build a dam or anything like that. I'm just saying I'm grateful. But that's because it's a good day and I've got time.
like our waterproof system. And start it. Let's go. Just open. The water should be going through now. I'm just going to go up to the header tank and see if it's working. The last time I did this, I didn't realize you had to get rid of any kind of air in the system, and I accidentally burnt a hole in the piping, so I'm just a little bit more nervous. Let's check the header tank. I hate this hill. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm a bit disappointed because I noticed yesterday that my gate was open, and so I came into my garden and I noticed that all 5 of my chickens had been rummaging around, and so they have left a bit of a mess to clean up. They've been just digging in the garden and whatever, and all of the garlic that I've planted, like some of it's there, like there's some. I mean, what is really cool is, look, they're already growing roots, but have I killed them? Anyway, so I'm really disappointed about that. But the chickens didn't know, and they shouldn't have been in the garden. Why was my garden door open? Look at this bed. Oh, mess everywhere. Anyway, so I'm going to clean things up, and we're just going to hope that this garlic still grows. Wood chips are everywhere. Today, or this week, is the first sort of very, very, very cold week since summer. So, yeah, I haven't been in the garden so much, but it hasn't been very long at all, and I am stoked with the garlic. They have just popped up, and even with the chickens disturbing things, they still relatively look like they've been placed in or been put back where they were. I don't know, it's looking good. So anyway, I am pretty stoked, and I've got a little bit more faith in my abilities. As soon as they sprout and I can see them on the surface, I know that it's gonna be okay. One thing I had to do was stop the watering because we're getting quite a bit of rain, and you really want to water in the garlic, but after that you just want to sort of, I mean, in Tasmania, just let the weather do its own thing, because it can go moldy really quickly. So yeah, we've cut the water, and just the natural weather now should sort of keep this garden going throughout winter. Well, good morning, friends. It is the most beautiful, sunny, mid-November morning that we have had for a little while. We have had so much gusty wind and a lot of rain recently, which I can't complain about the rain, but the wind has certainly not been very nice to be outside. But today feels like such a blessing. But I'm not just here to talk about the blessing of the weather. I'm here because the garlic is growing up and maturing so nicely. And yeah, it's only about a month before we harvest the garlic. So I'm really excited. But there's something really important we have to do at this stage, which I will show you there is something called a garlic scape, and that is something that grows at the top of the garlic at about this point. And it's really important to harvest the garlic scape because that uses a lot of energy that is then not put into the bulb. So it's important to be picking these garlic scapes. But the good thing about the garlic scape is it's garlic. It's like a garlic chive almost. And you can just harvest a whole bunch of these and whiz it up with some oil and some nuts and other herbs that you've got around your garden, and you can make a delicious pesto, which honestly becomes incredibly bright green, but it's so yummy. You can spread it on your bread, mix it in with pasta, have it with cheese and crackers. So it is an abundant resource, and it's giving it off already before you've even harvested the proper garlic bulbs. I think this is what's so exciting. So let's harvest some of these, shall we? The other really cool thing about these garlic scapes is this is when the garlic bulbs from last season are starting to get to the end of their life, or either you're running out or they're starting to not be good enough to eat anymore. But this is when the garlic scapes come, and this is when you can start using these in your cooking instead of your garlic bulbs. So I just think how amazing the provision of nature, of how the whole system. It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, man, the creator knew what he was doing, hey. Well, now that I have harvested all of my garlic scapes and all of the sun energy can go straight back into those garlic bulbs to make them even bigger and even more juicy. So I will probably see you in another month, and or a couple of seconds for you, and it'll be harvest time. How exciting! It's so exciting, and look forward to it. All right, see you then. I'm going to enjoy this weather. Woohoo! Well, can you believe it? It has been 9 months since I started this video. Boy, that's a long time. But the garlic is ready. It is the first week of December. Happy Christmas, everybody. Yeah, and so let's go harvest some garlic. Oh, let's have a look. Let's have a look. These stems, amazing. These are big and juicy. So good. Garlic is part of the onion family, and onions are very prone to getting diseases. So I would recommend not putting onion scraps in your compost that end up in your garden, because then you're putting potentially bad disease into your soil, which then the garlic can catch later. But if you notice a disease of some kind in your garlic or anything else, throw it in the bin. Don't throw it in the compost, because you're doing yourself a favor. If you put it in the compost, it's just going to come back to haunt you greater than it already has. Okay, we are up to processing all of this garlic, and basically what you want to do is take off a layer, the dirty layer of garlic. As you can see here, this one is the clean one. I've just taken one layer off this one. The easiest way to do that is just to grab the lowest leaf and bring that down and Ta-da! And then you can just and then what you do is cut off all of the roots. A lot of people say to do that once it's dried, but I tell you, it's way easier if you do it while it's still green. I found a helper to take the roots off. Should be given it. Just looks like that. And you can throw the roots away. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Whoa. So it's 110 full bulbs. Well, now what we do is let them dry out completely and then we'll plat them. Well, we are back slightly later than I had hoped, but nevertheless, we are back. The garlic is like crispy dry. Ideally, you do it a little bit earlier. This dry means it's going to be a little bit harder and messier to plat, but it hasn't done anything to the garlic. But if you're wanting to make nice plats, do it a little bit earlier. So the first thing I'll be doing is finding and ordering the biggest to the smallest, because I want to keep the biggest ones to plant them again. So hopefully my garlic just gets better and better and better by planting the biggest. So about 10 bulbs I will leave aside for planting. To make sure I don't lose track of them, I'm still going to braid them. If you've never done a braid in someone's hair or a plait before, go find someone with long hair and practice on them first, because this certainly is a little bit harder than hair. So grab 3 of your garlics that you're going to be plaiting and start plaiting. So just do a couple. Now at this point, what we want to do is add every fold over, we want to add a garlic. So adding a garlic and then folding over. Then I need to add a garlic here. So then I can fold it over. Sorry, it's very hard to catch it on camera. So I'm going to fold this one over. So I'm going to grab my garlic, pop it in, and then with the strand, I'm going to fold it into the plait. And pretty much just keep doing that. And the last one. Fold it into a plait. What you can do is, if you're noticing they're quite loose, is you can sort of pull it in a little bit. Honestly, it's taken me quite a lot of goes to practice. And then once I've got the ones that I want, then I just finish it off by doing a couple of plaits. Again, if you can do this a little bit earlier than I have, it won't be quite as brittle to work with. Generally, I hang these up. So after you've done a longer plait than you need, I loop it back around, grab a twine, and then knot it up. And then with the rest of them, generally, if you do it a bit earlier, you can't just snap them, but that's how brittle it is. There you go, you can hang it up a bunch. Yeah, so I'm going to do similar things like this for the rest of the garlic because I'm going to be giving it to a bunch of friends and family. Some of them want to start growing garlic, so this saves them purchasing a lot of garlic from the shops to start off. Isn't that a great gift? Here are all of my garlic presents. I'm really stoked with it. The journey of growing garlic is so satisfying, and the product that you have at the end and what you can give others, a labor of love. I think this beats any other kind of gift you can give. This is my garlic that I will be using over the year. Not for planting, just for eating. So pretty stoked with that. And so that's a wrap to garlic growing. I hope I have been able to document it relatively well for you, and I hope that you get to learn how to grow your own garlic. It is so simple, it is so easy. Nature does most of it, and it's just a little bit of work on your end to clean it all up at the end, but it is so worth it, and the joy people have on their faces when you get to give it to them is definitely worth it. Well, I thank you for watching, and yeah, look forward to the next video that's made.